Ho ho ho, what is up guys, it's your boy Santa Kakis, wishing you all a Merry Christmas, and today, for the 5% of you still watching after that, we are going to be showcasing a new exotic weapon added to Destiny 2 with the launch of the Renegades Expansion, and that is the Service of Luzaku exotic machine gun. Specifically, this is the new Seasons Pass exotic weapon, and in this video, we're going to be taking a look at how this weapon functions, exactly how good it is, specifically with the addition of its exotic catalyst, which is unlocked much later in that same Season's Pass. And so, let's get started. Alright, now, taking a look at the Service of Luzaku itself. What does it do at a base level? And then we're going to be taking a look at what the catalyst brings to the equation. So, for this machine gun, the intrinsic trait is dichotomous thinking. Hitting targets with this weapon builds a restorative charge. Hip firing at allies while this weapon is charged heals them, does not expend ammo, and fills this weapon's magazine from reserves. Rapid healing increases weapon damage and spawns threadlings from your allies. Lot going on there, and there's one more unique trait here with meaning making. Final blows with this weapon create a threadling nest that periodically spawns threadlings. Final blows with this weapon near an existing threadling nest create a threadling instead. So, the main thing you're going to notice when you're using this weapon is those threadling nests. You can see the first enemy I kill here makes a nest and it spits out a threadling, and then it's going to spit out another one and another one. It's going to kind of just keep going until eventually it does stop. Now, specifically, when it's going to stop, if you look closely near the teaming nest text in the symbol for it, you will actually see this kind of like red bar going down. If this red bar completely goes away, then the nest will just disappear. Now, importantly, even though you can use this essentially as a healing auto rifle, like at a base level, this is a healing auto rifle, a support frame auto rifle, but it's a machine gun. So not only can you hip fire this at allies, which is going to heal them, and again, if you keep doing it, it'll spawn threadlings and increase the damage, but you can also point it at one of these teaming nests and, essentially heal that as well. Now, you're not actually going to heal it because it doesn't actually take damage, but when you do shoot it, as you can see, that red circle that indicates its time remaining will actually fill back up, and so you can, as long as you have enough hipfire charge, basically make these threadling nests last indefinitely. Now, if you really go hard and keep shooting it with that charged hipfire mode, eventually it'll essentially overcharge it and make it start spitting out much more threadlings than normal at a much greater rate. Okay, so that is the weapon at a base level. Now, as for the catalyst, as you can see right here, you straight up get it at level 90 in the Seasons Pass. So it is quite the journey, especially because the way you actually gain experience has actually changed in Renegades with the introduction of the order system. So it may take you longer to get to level 90 than previous seasons, so keep that in mind. But what does the catalyst actually do? Well, it specifically says nests now mature over time. Fully mature nests can be harvested with the interact key. Press to grant yourself a held tangle. So, very specific to this exotic. That's why we went over the base functionality of the exotic before talking about the catalyst, because if you weren't familiar with how this exotic works, the catalyst is literally just a bunch of gibberish, right? But like, what does that actually mean in game? Well, I got the catalyst, I put it on my weapon. Just kidding, I had to go to Shirochi and get about 1,000 kills first. Actually wasn't that bad. Turns out the Luzaku is actually a pretty sick weapon overall. Pretty good at ad clearing, in fact, very good at ad clearing. But once you get that done, you equip this catalyst. Then, as you can see right here, now when I get that kill, I make that teaming nest, it will just go away and then disappear. Yeah, the catalyst actually does not alter whatsoever the base behavior of these nests. What you actually need to do is you will need some of that hipfire input into those nests. So as you can see right here, I create a nest and then I keep it alive, right? I'm going to shoot it. I'm going to extend the amount of time it's around, and then eventually you will see it will start to glow. Then when it's glowing, I can walk up to it, interact with it to pick up the tangle, as you can see. Now, you can also speed this up by hip firing a large amount into the nest. So you don't have to like wait until it's around for a long enough time for it to mature. You can just pump a bunch of those hip fire rounds into it, and as you can see, that will very quickly make it start to glow. Then you can interact with it and get your tangle. And I mean, that's it. That's what it does. And so overall, honestly, kind of disappointing. Now, it should be noted, this is purely beneficial, right? Like when these nests become ready to harvest, they don't stop spitting out threadlings. Like it doesn't make them worse or anything. It just gives you the option to go and turn it into a tangle. And there are tangle benefits. I mean, specifically with the Broodweaver Warlock, you have the Wanderer aspect where, as you can see, you can suspend targets with tangles you throw. That is going to massively increase the value of using this weapon with the Catalyst, like turning these into tangles, more tangles for tangle synergies, actually pretty decent. But in my time actually utilizing this weapon with the Catalyst, this is actually just very impractical. Like it turns out you do have to pump these nests full of a decent amount of your charge. Like well over half of your charge you have to shoot into these nests to turn them into tangles. And your charge is very valuable. I mean, you can shoot it at your teammates, right? And so it's like, hold on, I can fully heal my entire team with the charge I have, or I can spend, 3/4 of that charge making one tangle. Honestly, the juice is not worth the squeeze. I mean, like we are talking about a tangle. It almost like would give you a full super for how much it's asking. I mean, not really, but like a tangle overall just wasn't worth it. And again, like many times I would be like, okay, I'm gonna try to make a tangle here. I would shoot it and I just wouldn't have enough charge. I'd have about half charge and then suddenly I was out. And so I'm in the awkward position of like, okay, well, now I have to go kill more enemies, then like come back to this almost matured nest. And again, it just really was not actually that good of a gameplay loop. And so overall, I just don't think this Catalyst adds too much to this weapon. There's a lot of Seasons Pass exotics where the Catalyst makes a big difference. I mean, with the Witherhorde, the Catalyst adds auto-loading and stuff like that. Now, that's a very old example, but you know what I mean. Like, the Catalysts are usually a lot more beneficial. That is not the case here. Like, you're rarely going to be harvesting these threadlings from your nests. They're almost better. They're actually going to end up killing more enemies probably if you just leave them as nests, spitting out constant threadlings, right? Because you also have threadling synergies that you can put on. For example, this fragment here that increases threadling damage, right? Like you definitely have some synergies within Strand and sometimes Prismatic with threadlings. And so yeah, like I just felt this Catalyst is not really very good. With that being said, guys, the exotic itself is actually really sweet. Like the base exotic, how many threadlings you are spawning with this thing is actually crazy, right? Like any sort of threadling synergies just go bananas with this weapon. Not to mention, it's also great for a team support weapon. The one thing I feel like it does miss is I wish you could get some healing for healing your allies, right? Like I wish it had that support frame auto rifle perk, because you're healing allies, but you don't actually get any healing in return, so it can put you in some dangerous situations sometimes. But yeah, aside from that, really fantastic weapon. The problem for this weapon is that it came out at the same time the Praxic Blade came out, which is 10 million times better. So why would you give up your exotic slot to this? Maybe in the future, when potentially we have some more Strand seasonal artifact perks, this thing will start to pop off. But as of right now, it's very good actually, but not really seeing a ton of play. With that being said, guys, there's a look at this exotic and this exotic catalyst. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, found it informative, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.